Let's talk walks. So there are two general walks that we can do that we're going to go over right now. So for this assignment, we're going to do a vanilla walk. So that's kind of like the generic walk that you set up for all your characters and then you add on top of. So it's a pretty normal thing to do, like a vanilla walk for your character. There are two ways to kind of approach your vanilla walk. So there's a more feminine walk and there's a more masculine walk. And so if I ask you right now, and I want you to think about this while you're watching this, what's the difference between a masculine walk and a feminine walk? And I feel like right away there's a few things that go on in our heads, particularly with us guys. I feel like what I tend to hear as an instructor is that like a feminine walk, like the hips like swing more. I feel like that's typically what I often hear. Like if you think about like Frozen, you know, the famous scene where she walks towards camera, like where they definitely overdid the hips, thanks to a certain individual who was in charge. That's a good example of like I feel like what oftentimes people think of is like feminine walk, but we're going more base than that. We're going more like fundamental. There's actually like a fundamental difference between a more masculine walk and a more feminine walk. So that's not to say that all men walk one way and all females walk another way. It doesn't work like that at all. What's important for us animators is just to know that there's a difference and that we should know this. So let me first demonstrate what this walk is. So for this, I am going to try to use a trusty broom right here, and I am going to demonstrate with my hips. So hopefully, can you see my hips? We may have to raise this up just a bit more so that you can see my hips. Yes, can you see my hips? Yes, you can, and you can see the broom. So the broom is here to indicate the angle of my hips. If we're doing a more masculine walk, we'll go over this one first. So the big difference isn't how much your hips move, but it's how they move in relation to your feet. So if I lift up my right hip, a more masculine walk, is going to, this is my right hip over here. If I lift up my right foot, a masculine walk is going to go like this. See the broom and the angle that it goes like that? So if I lift up the right one, it's going to be more like this. So it's very much like that. A more feminine style walk is going to be the exact opposite of that. Meaning if I lift up my right foot, my hip is going to go down. And then when I lift up my right foot, my left hip is going to go down like this. Cool. So that is the difference between a more masculine style walk and a more feminine style walk. What's good to note here is that I would say 90% of the walks that you see in animated films are feminine style walks. Regardless of whether they're on a super like machismo style guy or not, generally because they're more appealing and they lend to a better sense of weight. So most of the walks that you are going to see are a more feminine style. There's a few reasons for that. Besides giving it weight, they also lend to a better design sensibility, which we can go over later. So I'll just quickly kind of draw this to help demonstrate. So a masculine style walk, remember, if this is the foot, like this, and so this is our normal person right here. If we're doing a masculine walk, that means if their right foot goes up, what that means is their right hip goes up. These two they work together like this, and you're going to see that there's lines like this, right? That happen. So this is like the more masculine walk. A more feminine style walk is going to be where if we have our person right here like this, and we lift up this foot right here, this foot goes up like this, what we're going to see is the exact opposite, right? We're going to see that this hip drop down while this goes up. Maybe some arrows will help. Like this. And so what we're effectively going to get is we're going to get these triangles. Triangles are repeated throughout animation and are generally a good design. we're going to see this type of shape and this type of shape versus like this type of shape and this type of shape. This is generally going to be more appealing than this. That's not to say that one's right or wrong, but generally that's the case. So the first thing that you want to ask yourself when you're dealing with the character is, should I be doing a masculine walk or a feminine style walk? And most likely the answer is going to be a feminine walk. For our example, for our assignment, we are going to be doing a feminine walk. So no masculine walks, they all should be feminine. Cool. With that, we will see you, we'll start animating the walk.